We're live in. We're live now.
While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self-management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front in college or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At Mentor Mitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success.
About happiness in life. Consider that everything that we do about life and everything that we do in life is all about eventually being happy. Happiness is the ultimate goal of life. Levels of happiness could vary, but the higher the level of happiness, the best it works.
Favorite line that I always love to talk about, and something that I love to use on myself is also that there is nothing that can't be worked on, right? Everything in this world, almost everything, right? Almost everything is something that can be worked on, could be developed, right? Could be improved. We as human beings have such amazing capabilities and capacity that once we identify a certain thing, we can definitely try to improve on the same.
If you're really, if it is paining you, probably it's not your strength area, it's a weak area, right? If maths pain you, probably maths is not your strength area. If you love talking with people, maybe communication is your strength area. So some of these things, you will know it yourself. Further, apart from that, do ask your friends. Please ask your friends, what do you think I'm really good at? And they will tell you, rattle down those 3-4 things that you're really good at. Ask your parents. And sometimes parents also tell, मेरा बेटा इसमें से बहुत अच्छा है, मेरा बेटा मैथ्स में अच्छा है, मेरा बेटा दोस्तों के साथ बहुत अच्छी तरह से रहता है. They keep telling these things oftenly without you noticing it. So whatever they repeatedly tell about you, good about you, is your strength area, right? So ask your teachers. Teachers observe you. They see your scores, they see your habits, they see your behaviors. Based on that, they will tell you what you're really good at. Second thing,
what are the changes that's happened? Things that are looking very different is work from home may continue to be a way of life, because organizations have realized, people have realized that nothing, there are lots of things that can be done as well from home and possibly better. And those professions will perhaps continue to enjoy the benefit of working from home, if I might call that. Education and training have already gone digital, but there's a lot of scope of improvement. And with that, there would be a lot of training of the trainers that will come into play. We perhaps will not have to travel so much for work, because earlier we used to just take a flight for a 1-hour meeting to Chennai, or for some training session to attend in Dubai. And that's
The
definitely
way
going
I
to change.
look at analyzing work or a analogy to work is more to do with your mind, where you do your all logical things, your aspirations, everything is logical.
The message
And
here
life,
is we all have our starting points, we have our journeys, and we have our destinations. So today it might look like we're not headed anywhere, but in the end, it will all work out. So there's no need to be disheartened at all, and it is absolutely fine to be an average. The second part of the story goes where it comes about finding your own mojo. While I was an average student, I ensured just one thing. I kept my desire to learn and keep that fire inside of me ignited. Whether it was traveling, meeting new people, or even exploring new cultures, it was all about upskilling myself for me. Although while learning, I didn't really know where that was actually heading to. But then, if I were to look back and think and connect the dots, I have the job that I have today only because of the skills and knowledge that I gained.
The time tracker app is designed to know where and how can your activities be revised and your time can be used effectively. In the time tracker template, you're supposed to input your activities and the amount of time you have spent on them. Statistical data will be provided on the basis of that, which will help your mentors to take further action. The benefits for working professional are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, identifying what creates positive energy which can be unleashed for you to maintain your work life balance. The benefits for university students program are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you identify and work on positive energy creators in your schedule, events, and people as well. Identifying areas for productivity, success, and happiness. The benefits for school students are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals, and creating new ones if needed, helping you drive the areas of right association, acts, and creating right energy for your preparation, as well as eliminate areas where you can save time and be more productive in your work schedule.
This is the clip from a live session that we have every Friday on Instagram. Various IGTV videos from our live sessions are available where our experts from various fields have shared their insights with us. Do check out our IGTV on Instagram for wonderful and insightful discussions on various topics ranging from relationship to mental health to leadership and career building.
People say thoughts create reality. What are your thoughts and views on this? Can you explain?
Yeah, so this is a well-known quote everywhere. People used to say thoughts create reality, especially when people believe in law of attraction. They say that thoughts create reality, and it is true. Basically, what we are thinking about something in like at least for the majority of the time in a day, for example, like 8 to 10 hours, if you're thinking about a particular thing, that's how your belief system gets wired. So according to your thought, your belief system forms a pattern, and based on your belief system is how you act in your everyday life. So if you're believing about something, that's how you react to certain situation. And so that's how everyone says that thoughts create reality, because your thoughts are going to it's going to be a major part for your belief system, and your belief system is based on how you how you react and respond to it. So it all is interconnected, and that's why your thoughts create reality. So you have to be really tracking what you're thinking in a day. And for example, if it is going to be a negative thought or something, obviously you're gonna ruin your day. If you're fearing about something or it's definitely going to ruin your day, right? You might be waking up very happy and with so much confident and stuff, but when you just meet a random person who just spoils your mood just for a minute, and you're thinking about that whole day, obviously your thoughts are going to affect your pattern, how you react and respond to others, and you're going to ruin your day, the entire day. So thoughts create reality is basically you have to track your thoughts, you have to be positive about it, and that's how your life changes. You should not just do this as a task or something. It's a lifestyle. You have to track it every day.
Thank you.
We'll be talking about critical thinking and how do you make decisions basis that.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm so sorry. So, yeah, the first question is, why is it always challenging for us to make decisions, or rather making the right decisions in life?
All right. Now, decisions are very important part of our life. And now every day we take a lot many decisions, be it small one, little decisions every day that we take, and bigger decisions that has greater impact on our lives, right? So majorly there are two kinds of decisions that we take. One is a simple decision. It could be as simple as what should I have, tea or coffee? Or what should I have in my breakfast, right? So that is simple decision, and whatever I choose can be basis what is available to me, what is feasible, what I like, what I am in a mood to have, right? And that does not require a lot of challenges that we face, right? And decision what I do is does not also impact my life a lot, right? Even if I have a tea or coffee, that does not gonna hamper my life so much. But there are complex decisions that we're supposed to take in our life, and they have major and great impact in our lives. That they change our lives the way we take decisions, and that's the reason it's very very challenging always. Now, also there are a lot of decisions of us are based on our biases, our influences, or the background that we come from, right? And we tend to take incorrect decisions or sometimes not appropriate decisions for us, and we regret it later. And that's the reason everybody is very conscious about while they take decisions about career or relocating to a new city, even like buying a gadget or investing money, right? So what are your biases? Sometimes we tend to go like, are you influenced by somebody while buying something or choosing something? Or there is a certain pattern of, like, we call it cognitive biases. There's a certain pattern, like gender-based profession. So we have the tendency ki, okay, girls can be this, boys can be this. So these are cognitive behaviors, and we tend to believe them. Rather than questioning them, we tend to believe, take decision accordingly, and that's the reason we find it very challenging. Also, like which everybody, like most of the people who have joined here, can relate to is when we go for shopping.
To be empathetic in a professional environment while maintaining one's own boundaries?
Yeah, this is very, very crucial and very difficult to kind of abide by or practice, right? So all the words that is going to come out of my me today is going to look all wow, but when you put it to practice, it's going to be taking a toll on you. So don't worry, I'll try to make it as simplified as possible. So two things. First of all, when we look at empathy, what is empathy? You're just going to put yourself in the other person's shoes, try to understand their emotions, truly put yourself in their position and see what it is like to be in that position. And when you do that, naturally, there are certain things that you would understand about their perspective, or whether certain solutions would be coming to your mind and things like that. So when you generally are an empathetic person, as nature or your personality, you have it in you, you tend to cross your own boundaries. And at times it is difficult for you to, make sure that you're not doing things at your own cost. कि आप help करते जा रहे हो and you don't know where to put a line or draw a line when you're in a professional setting, especially. So these are two things that you can keep in mind. First of all, is really identify what your needs are on a regular basis. Try to do that. So the certain questions that possibly you ask yourself is, what is it that rejuvenates you? What is it that you need to feel your best, right? At your workspace or at your own home as well. So empathy anywhere, at your workspace or at your home also. These questions are something that you can keep in mind and you can keep asking them to yourself. The other thing is, when do you feel your best? Around whom do you feel your best, right? And when do you feel your worst? Around whom or what circumstances you feel discomforted? So having a check on these things, and these needs can keep changing as and when you are in your life, you're taking your journey, things keep changing. So you need to be aware of these. And when you get the answers to these questions, that's when you know rich content to work on in terms of your boundaries. So you know who is not giving you comfort. You know who is giving you comfort. You know what is making you feel your best. So continuing that, and something that is not, try to restrict those kind of behaviors, or try to restrict your energy that is going towards those things or people or situations.
The time tracker app is designed to know where and how can your activities be revised and your time can be used effectively. In the time tracker template, you're supposed to input your activities and the amount of time you have spent on them. Statistical data will be provided on the basis of that, which will help your mentors to take further action. The benefits for working professional are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, identifying what creates positive energy which can be unleashed for you to maintain your work life balance. The benefits for university students program are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you identify and work on positive energy creators in your schedule, events, and people as well. Identifying areas for productivity, success, and happiness. The benefits for school students are identifying if you need changes in your time management to optimize results, helping you get clarity on goals and creating new ones if needed, helping you drive the areas of right association, acts, and creating right energy for your preparation, as well as eliminate areas where you can save time and be more productive in your work schedule.
While progressing in life, at times we feel stuck due to the lack of knowledge of how to manage our time well. Deciding how to prioritize the different facets of daily self-management gets hectic, whether it's for school students, university students, or working people. The lack of motivation, a great amount of workload, and the expectations at the academic front, in college, or at one's workplace is draining for an individual. Under such circumstances, a helping hand can instruct and support us in setting the right direction for our goals. At Mentor Mitr, we engage with individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their potential and performance to optimum. Our involvement helps individuals to set the right goals and create options by following an objective process, thereby enabling them to define and manage their priorities. We help them generate self-awareness and teach them how to prioritize their time effectively. We also enhance their emotional quotient with techniques like mind mapping and dealing with success and failure to reinforce their goals and processes, while also grooming them with soft skills that are necessary for the competitive selection process, thus making them confident and prepared for success.
Good evening, everyone. Mentor Mitr wishes a happy Sunday to all. As it is rightly said, the ability to learn faster than your competitors may be only sustainable competitive advantage. Let's start today's webinar on the topic Preparation for Competitions, the Serendipties. It is a free webinar and the participants will be receiving an e-certificate for the same. Before beginning today's webinar, I would like to state the steps to avail e-certificate. They are as follows. Attend the complete webinar. When you see thank you on the screen, there will appear a link to a Google attendance form in the chat box. Click to mark your attendance and get the feedback questionnaire emailed. Fill the questionnaire you get in the mail for your details. Follow our page. Whether you did or not is also in the questionnaire. If you did and replied in the affirmative and actually did not follow our page, you will not get the e-certificate. If all the above stated steps are followed, automatically an e-certificate will be issued online to you within 24 to 48 hours. Mentor Mitr is a mentoring organization. We aim to guide individuals wherever they are in their journey of career development and help them learn life skills to manage complex situations while enhancing their academic performance to optimal. Our involvement helps students and working professionals to set the right goals and enables them to define and manage their priorities. Please put your questions in the YouTube chat box and we will be happy to take them at the end. We will like to introduce our first speaker for the webinar. We welcome Ms. Vriddhi Sharma. Vriddhi Sharma is the co-founder of Mentor Mitr and an alumna of Sociology Honors at the Lady Shri Ram College for Women. Vriddhi herself has gone through a mentoring process based on Mentor Mitr's philosophy and strongly believes that learning of success principles beyond the curriculum is a big enabler. She has documented the whole process that she underwent and done some in-depth research to facilitate pioneering work with her mentors and other co-founders over the past few years. Consequently, she came up with a solution that is ever enveloping for students and working executives. She is an avid reader and holds a research orientation as a continuous learner. She is the council member of the Mental Health Council at Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, WICCI. She also writes and has championed various projects and ventures, including CAN Support, Project I Empower, ICCE initiatives for environment and social law, National Service Scheme, Smile Foundation, United Religions Initiative, and has gained some experience in the domain of mental health and behavioral sciences with Fortis. She has been writing for Youth Ki Awaaz and was also featured on various platforms such as Young Influx and the Armchair Journal for her work. Riddhi strives to firmly support the cause of social justice and delivers the best in her capacity. I would now request ma'am to please enlighten our audience.
Okay, so thank you so much for the lovely introduction, Archer. Am I audible, everybody? Could you just confirm?
Yes, you are audible and visible too.
All right. All right. So I'll be talking about the nature of preparation, the various facets that are involved in the same, and some important points that are, that you should remember in order to facilitate the process of preparation for competition. So, as I said, the nature of preparation entails a great deal of peaks and troughs, and that's just how it's supposed to be. You're supposed to face all sorts of things, also have all sorts of experiences when you're in a competition and when you're preparing for something that so many others are also preparing for. However, as we gain a better clarity of our goals, we become more and more, you can say, oriented and get a better direction as to how we can facilitate our preparation. So the two broad aspects that I'd like to highlight in this talk is one of tangibles and the second one is of intangibles. By tangibles, I mean the actionable measures that you have to take. So it could be physically and you have to actually get down to doing certain things in order to facilitate preparation. And by intangible, I mean mental actionable measures or goals that you have to take in order to facilitate preparation. So this could also be with respect to the right frame of mind that you are in, or being in your locus of control, in other words, and broadly, right mindset. So now I'd like to start with the tangibles. By tangibles, uh, in tangibles, I'd like to cover four important points or four important features that I think are relevant for the same. The first one is of goal setting. Goal setting is crucial because it helps you give a direction to what you're doing in the course of preparation. And here, what's really important is building tracks and options and structuring them in a manner so as to facilitate preparation. So that can be done when you plot your goals and break them down into maybe short-term goals and long-term goals. So I could give an example for the same, since I have been a student and I still happen to be one. Uh, Making short-term goals during the course of examination would be maybe preparing for your series of tests that you have next week or in the coming weeks. And for long-term goals could be for your final exams. So you have to be prepared for both of them. You have to break them down, make an actionable schedule, and start working on the same when you plot those tracks. So that gives you a direction. And it should be in an order of priority again. So when your tests are involved in the same, subjects are supposed to be prioritized. You have to figure out your development. Yeah, this is the right slide. So you have to figure out your development areas. You have to figure out what are your strengths, what are the things that you have to look after. And you can also give yourself a SWOT analysis while you're setting your goal for preparation. So that means you have to identify not just your strengths and development areas or weaknesses, in other words. You also have to figure out what are the possible things you can derive once you achieve a particular goal, and what are the shortcomings that you're likely to face when you're setting that goal. And one thing that I really like to lay emphasis on is that when we're setting a goal, we have to get very organized in order to and deliberate about it in order to achieve the right means or right goals for the preparation. And consequently, of course, implementation is also very important, and the execution of those goals, followed by course correction. And the second tangible that I'd like to highlight is of making an action plan. So what an action plan does is put you in a consistent mode to generate outcomes and optimize your performance. And it also helps you, again, break down those short-term and long-term goals. So I would say that goal setting and building an action plan are in tandem with one another. And what you can do here is compartmentalize the concepts that you're studying, the subject matter that has to be studied, and the areas that you feel that require a lot of improvisation, as well as the ones that are your strengths. So they could be the core areas that you keep on brushing up on. And another thing an action plan does is orient you and put a laser focus in road mapping your preparation process. So in competition, that is really crucial. Everybody's competing. Probably they're doing something similar, or you don't know what they're doing, but you have to be very particular about your individual goals and move ahead with the same. The third tangible that I'd like to highlight is of effective time and priorities management. And by that, I mean that you have to list down all your priorities in an order of urgency, as well as with respect to how important they are. So urgency and importance, that's how you become gain more clarity as to how you can plot those goals, structure them, and actually get down to executing them. So what you have to do is be specific about what's important there and what's not important, what can be postponed for the time being, say with respect to your long-term goals, and what you have to keep in mind with respect to the short-term goals. Other than that, as I mentioned in the previous few points as well, you have to be very intentional with the action plan and the goal setting that you've done for your preparation. So once you do that, your time management as well as priority management in itself becomes very optimal, in other words. And another thing that you have to take care of when you're managing your time and priorities during the course of preparation is setting deadlines and limitations for yourself. So limitations could be with the elimination of a couple of distractions or certain things that you're not supposed to do during the course of preparation. And by deadlines, of course, you have to be consistent with what you're doing. You cannot afford to procrastinate a lot of work. You cannot afford to miss out on the deadlines you've set for yourself. So that could help you in robust or active scheduling, and in organizing yourself, of course. So structure your schedule, make it actionable in a sense that you actually get down to doing it, and measure your progress. So even if you've made a schedule, you have organized everything, you have to first organize a schedule, then organize yourself in order to actually facilitate preparation. And that is followed by the measurement of your progress. Now, how do you measure your progress? That can be facilitated when you look at your performance. So, for example, you have these short-term goals and then some upcoming series of tests that you have to give. So you are delivering your best. You feel that your schedule has been optimized and you're doing whatever is required for the same, putting in the right kind of efforts and hard work. And in order to follow through and to measure that progress, you'll have to check how much you're scoring in every test. So this is again in the context of a student. So I'm giving it from that perspective. So how are you facilitating that? Just keep those things in mind and check whether the performance is progressing or regressing, and how is it going? What are the areas of strength that you possess, and what are the development areas in the same? So this is really important during the course of preparation. So it helps you when you keep a tab on the progress you're making, it helps you ensure that the outcomes are also mapped in this process. So this could also cater to your long-term goals. So for example, the short series of tests that you performed on, they're going well. So this could also imply that in the long term also, you're likely to perform well with the same methodology or recipe that you curated. And the fourth point that I'd like to talk about is on right preparation and support, or in other words, in building an entourage as well. So this is something I really talk about, have spoken about in many other conversations. By building an entourage or seeking the right support, I mean that seeking the right sort of mentors, teachers, professors, or maybe being surrounded in the right peer circle or friend circle for the same. So those kind of people help you get into the right mindset. They also facilitate those actionable measures that you're supposed to take, or the actionable goals that you set for yourself during the course of preparation in a competition. And it's really important. And by right preparation, I mean preparatory measures that you have to take. So that will obviously be followed by the action plan, the goal setting, time management, and everything else that you've done. So it's all encompassed in all the facets that I've already covered. And yeah, so I think that's about it. So here the point is to eliminate the errors that you're likely to face during the course of these actionable measures. So these are the tangibles that I wanted to specifically touch upon. And now we can move on to the next slide. Okay. So the intangibles, right? So by tangibles, I mean the physical goals, the actionable measures that you have to take, sometimes get around to actually making the effort to do it. But by the intangibles, I mean those mental modules, or you can say the mental processes and measures that you have to take and reinforce from time to time to curate, to generate the right kind of mindset while you're in the process of preparation. And so these are the four intangibles, as you can see on the screen. The first one being overcoming the fear of competition. So the fear of competition is very common, and like a very prominent reason why we happen to face a fear of competition is because we face fear failure. So it corresponds directly to the fear of failure. We don't want to step into something we're not sure of. We don't want to step into something that may or may not have a favorable outcome, or something that we happen to desire. So that's absolutely okay. It's very common. Don't worry. It's not unique to anybody, not unique to me, to you, or to anybody else. And also the fear of failure. So to overcome the fear of competition, we have to know that setbacks are just in the nature of preparation. I mentioned this in the beginning, and I'm mentioning this again. It's important to face those setbacks in order to go up and in order to peak as well. So it's a part of the process, it's in the nature. And one thing about fear is that it thrives when you don't adapt to change and when you resist any sort of change. So fear can be overcome, and this fear of competition uh, can be thrashed once we step into the course that we want to go for, as in something that we wish to pursue, whether it's in the preparation of an examination, or in achieving great grades, or getting into a good college, getting the right kind of job, finishing a very good project that you've been assigned, or something like that. So stepping into the course that you've been assigned and stepping out of your comfort zone. So as I said, fear thrives when we resist change. So that's something that we have to make actionable, start working on, and be ready to explore the unique dimensions of preparation, whether it's involving something that we're not certain about. Uncertainty is also one of the key factors that contributes to the fear of competition or the fear of failure that we happen to face during the course of preparation. So trust yourself and know that hard work, efforts, and consistency will definitely lead to favorable outcomes, provided you're making the right kind of efforts and putting in the right kind of inputs. And the second point that I'd like to highlight here is of tackling negative self-talk. So all these pointers, they're really common to everybody. Again, they're not unique to you, unique to me, or anybody else. And they're common because everybody feels like spiraling, gets into these spiraling thoughts of inadequacy, of feeling unworthy, or incompetence for that matter, considering that we're talking about preparation here. So that's absolutely okay. But what we have to do here is identify that we're not talking in the right manner to ourselves, or know that, okay, this is not the way we'll be talking to anybody else, right? If there's somebody preparing for a competition, if a friend is preparing, we won't be demotivating them. We won't be saying the wrong words or wrong things that could hamper their performance. So think of yourself that way. Think of yourself as a person who needs some encouragement, and not the opposite, obviously, because you're entering a competition. Everything is already pretty difficult when you enter a competition. So you have to be prepared with all the right actionable measures, as well as the mental reinforcers for the same. And we have to actively acknowledge the negative self-talk that we are doing. So in order to do that, we have to laud ourselves for the previous achievements. So for example, I am 21 today, and I have to laud myself for all the achievements that I've made, whether big or small wins, whatever it is. Uh, we have to remind ourselves of the achievements when we're preparing, not just the setbacks, or maybe how we've risen from those setbacks and what they've taught us, what are the lessons they gave us. So this is something that can help you interrupt your negative self-talk. And again, yeah, interruption is a very good way. So when you interrupt your negative self-talk, you can replace it or reframe it with something positive instead. So as I mentioned, you may have faced some other setbacks in the past, and you feel that, okay, maybe they were big ones, maybe you could have done better or something like that. But you bloomed after that as well. You peaked, you saw the curve going up, you saw that your performance did increase even after having a setback. So a setback is not the end of the world. And that is also one way of tackling that negative self-talk of incompetence or inadequacy that we happen to face, and checking all sorts of feelings that we happen to get during the preparation. And even a negative self-talk, it's natural, it's absolutely common in a preparation, because uh, a little anxiety gives us a push to think, or maybe a push to kind of move ahead for survival from an evolutionary perspective. So that's how we can go about things, by reframing the negative thoughts that we happen to get. And you can also affirm something like, I'm going to be in control of the choices that I make here while I'm preparing. I'm going to be in control of the efforts that I make, the hard work that I put in, and the outcomes will be favorable. So that's something that you can say to yourself, instead of uh, brooding over something that is not likely to happen, or we don't know about yet. So the third point is building self-confidence. So now these 3 points are interlinked, because it's all related to the mindset that we cultivate. So building confidence, it requires a lot of effort, definitely, because when we step into something new, we're uncertain, we are scared, we don't know how we're going to move ahead with the things, or especially we don't have the right kind of support here. So to do that, a lot of faith has to be put into ourselves, and this requires one to look into themselves and also do a lot of inner work that has to be with dismantling old beliefs and convictions that we have about maybe failure, about a competition, about being prepared, and all those other things. So that inner work has to be done in order to cultivate that confidence and to encourage ourselves to deliver effectively. And I think one way to facilitate the same can be through cultivating a growth mindset. So when we have a growth mindset, we are flexible to accepting a lot of changes. So the main, I think the main fear that people, a common fear that people have is of a collective change, like, something that just drastically changes and how will we cope with it. So for example, if we've done really prepared really well for a test and somehow your marks didn't turn out to be as well as you thought they would be. So that's natural. It's okay. It's just a part of the process. Maybe during that particular test, you were not in a good frame of mind, and that's absolutely okay. It was one instance. And maybe you can ensure, or with the right kind of efforts, you can ensure that this same thing is not repeated again. You can ask for another mock test or something like that. So to build confidence, you have to encourage yourself, strengthen your core beliefs, or maybe switch them from negative ones to positive ones. Do that inner work and reinforce a good affirmation for yourself. So with respect to your skills and capabilities, like, I'm very skilled and capable of achieving something that I haven't stepped into because I haven't explored it yet. So I cannot be too sure about the outcomes yet. And be authentic and don't be resistant to change. Accept change as it is. So that's one thing. The fourth point, it's a very crucial one, something that people tend to dismiss a lot of times, because when we're surrounded in a group of friends or peers, we're likely to be influenced by what they do, how they act, and how they influence our behaviors, how they influence our mindset altogether. So that's really something that people don't really take care of. But overcoming unhealthy competition and tackling negative peer pressure is really crucial, and a really crucial, you can say, intangible during the course of preparation for a competition. Because what a group does is instill that like the fear of that competition over and over again. So it gets a little reinforced because some people study well, yet they fear that they're not doing well enough, or they may not be able to deliver the outcomes that they're expecting, the favorable ones. And all those beliefs can be reinforced. So I can give my like an anecdotal reference here. When I was in my high school, I was a very diligent and a hardworking student. I've always like put in the right kind of efforts when it comes to examinations or when it comes to absolutely anything. So I remain prepared whenever anything has to happen. And I had an economics exam, and it was a little difficult. It was a, you can say, a mock test sort of a thing, but it could determine a lot of scores and determine whether my performance and my preparation was going well or not. So I had a friend who used to send me very confusing questions and questions that were completely out of the syllabus in order to confuse me. So when we happen to have friends or peers like that, we get into the mindset of getting influenced by what they do or with the kind of things that they're presenting to us. So such associations should be avoided at any cost, and we should be take care of the kind of people we're associating with. So when I spoke about the entourage, like the right-minded mentors, seniors, professors, parents, peers, or friends, or whatever. So those are the kind of people you should associate with, who also possess a growth mindset and won't hamper your performance or tamper with your preparation in any way possible. And yeah, so it's about building the right association, seeking the right support. And again, because we get influenced by people around us, it's also very important to capitalize on our own individual strengths, which means on our own capabilities, restoring the faith or storing the faith and reinforcing that faith that we have in ourselves during the course of preparation. This is, catering to the mindset that we need to possess. And in this point only, I'd like to highlight that we shouldn't compare ourselves to our friends. We don't know the kind of preparation they've done or the kind of inputs that they require in order to facilitate preparation, or the kind of environment that they're in when they go home and study or perform any other task, complete any project. So don't compare yourself or compare your progress with that of others. And stay away from negative people or people who can possibly tamper with your performance and preparation. Next slide, please. Okay, so yeah, some important points to keep in mind. I have spoken about these in the previous points, but I'd like to reinforce the same. So I'll just lay some more emphasis on it. Uh, Remain committed to the deadlines and committed to what you pursue and your end goal. So by pursuing it, I mean that, what's your ultimate goal? So if it's about scoring amazing marks in your end semester exams and getting the right GPA, you have to be committed to the goals you've set for yourself and the schedule and get organized, remain consistent, basically. Then the second point is, again, eliminating distractions. That is very important. I mentioned this before, I'm mentioning this again because it does often tamper with the progress that people tend to have, and often even performance that we have when it comes to short-term goals or long-term goals. And the third point is about making learning a habit. This is something I'd like to emphasize on because I've mentioned it before again, like I know. It's because we resist change. We don't want to learn a lot of new things. But when it comes to performing a particular task for preparation or learning concepts for preparation, there are a few concepts that we may have to learn solely because it's a part of the syllabus or it's a part of the work that you're doing. But when you make learning a habit, you become accustomed to genuinely acquiring the knowledge that's presented to you. So that is very helpful when it comes to preparation. So this is not specifically with textbook knowledge or any knowledge presented for the purpose of academics or something like that, but it could also be learning from your senior superiors, accepting their feedback, accepting how they have experienced a couple of things during the course of their preparation, what you can take away from that. So that also constitutes learning by and large. And the fourth point is avoiding procrastination and sticking to deadlines for self. This is important. I did briefly touch upon this, but I'd like to elaborate a little because procrastination, it gets the best of us and it tampers with the performance. So stick to the deadlines you've set for yourself, don't procrastinate. And in order to avoid doing that, what you can do is take frequent breaks, rejuvenate from time to time, keep your study periods to an optimal time, and don't stretch it for 2 hours, don't sit for 2 hours and complete your work. Study for 1 hour, take some break, and so on, whatever suits you best. So again, this is in the context of studying during the course of preparation. So this is something I wanted to highlight. And for the same, a to-do list can definitely help because it helps you get organized and effectuate the action plan that you wish to work on. And one more thing you can do in order to avoid this procrastination and accomplish the deadlines you've set for yourself is by rewarding yourself. So when we reward ourselves, we become more accustomed to performing more goals and performing more things. So reward yourself after you've accomplished a big deadline, say for a long-term goal. And consequently, like procrastination, it's normal, but the scope of it and the magnitude for the same can be eliminated over the course of time. And the last point that I'd like to highlight is of course correction. And by course correction, I would like to go back to the first point that I made. It was of goal setting. So when we set a goal, we have to get organized, we have to implement it, execute it, and then that is followed by a revisionary session that we have with ourselves. So course correction entails seeking feedback from other people, seeking feedback from ourselves as well. So this comes when we evaluate our strengths and weaknesses, when we figure out where we're lacking, what are the areas we need to work on, and also figure out what are the areas we're good at. And consequently keep brushing them up, make sure they don't go off the tangent or, just, some become our development areas during the course of preparation. So that's really important. And seeking, you can say, some feedback from others in terms of constructive criticism is very important because when we seek feedback from others, we also get to realize the areas that we're lacking in. So you might think that you're good at a particular topic, but when you're tested, you feel that, okay, I'm not good at it. I thought I was really good. I prepared well. But what are the areas you're lacking in? Maybe your mentor can tell you, your teacher can tell you, a right-minded senior can tell you, again, in the context of a student life for examination. So seek that feedback, actually integrate it into your approach while you move ahead with course correction. And you can say, yeah, work on your strengths, development areas, give feedback to yourself, take that feedback, and also come up with some new strategies when you have major setbacks, or maybe major happen to find major discrepancies in your development areas. So come up with new strategies, seek advice from the right kind of people. And I think that should suffice. So these are the pointers, tangibles, intangibles that I had to cover on preparation for competition. And if there are any questions, you guys can ask me at the end. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
And
much,
that's all I
ma'am,
had to
for
say.
sharing your result-oriented thoughts and experience. It was a pleasure to listen to you. A note for our audience, please feel free to post your queries and we will love to take them in the end. Now, introducing our Mentor Mitr's website. You can pay a visit to Mentor Mitr's website at www.mentormitr.com. Mentor Mitr is a platform that systematically creates a program-based approach to enable students and working people to define their goals clearly and follow a method to achieve those predictably. Our focus area includes time management, goal setting, soft skills, priority management, emotional quotient, performance enhancement, and a lot more. Visit the website at www.mentormitra.com to infer more insights. Presenting to you the various courses offered by Mentor Mitr. We have numerous courses under 3 heads. They are for school-going students, university-going students, and for working professionals. For working professionals, our objective is to enhance their overall performance at the workplace and imbibe balance in their professional lives more efficiently. We have Compass Pro course, which requires 1 month of engagement, and Habit Formation Pro course, which commits 3 months of engagement. The program details include mind frames, analysis and counseling sessions, development of templates, and a lot more. For university going students, we aim to enable them to make highly informed choices regarding their skills and career growth. We have certified mentors and counselors to help them reach their desired destination. We have Habit Formation course for success of 3 months of engagement, and Compass course for direction setting, which commits 1 month of engagement for university going students. The details of the program include future scope tests, time tracker, counseling sessions, track options, and template, and much more. For school-going students, we prioritize their career development journey and also help them attain their short-term and long-term goals. We have Ensure Optimizer course, which demands 12 months of engagement, Habit Formation course for success of 3 months of engagement, and Compass course of 1 month of engagement for school-going students. The details of the programs include Discoverer test, psychometric assessment, one-on-one counseling sessions, time tracker, and a lot more. For more details and information, check out Mentor Mitr's website. Introducing Mentor Mitr app. Via the link displayed on the screen, one can download the Mentor Mitr app for availing its benefits. One can also scan the QR code shown on the screen for the same purpose. The Mentor Mitr app is available on the Play Store. You can download the app only on Android devices. The download is free of cost. Programs are paid. App is available in India, Philippines, Bangladesh, Indonesia, Italy, Malaysia, Nepal, Russia, Spain, and Thailand. It will be launched in other countries soon. Kindly download our app to get help in your career development process. If you have any queries with the app, please feel free to contact us or drop a mail at contact@mentormitra.com or connect@mentormitra.com. Now presenting to you our next speaker of the evening, Ms. Shweta Ojha. Shweta Oja is a LinkedIn coach and consultant. She helps professionals, SME business owners, startups, freelancers, trainers, coaches to build their brand and growth leveraging LinkedIn platform. Through consulting, she helps her clients to achieve better visibility, expert positioning, higher credibility, and inbound leads. She has educated till now more than 10,000 individuals through her speaking engagements on how to leverage LinkedIn platform for building business, personal brand, and career. She has consulted 50 plus professionals on personal branding, LinkedIn profile optimization, and LinkedIn lead generation. Personal brand is not created by chance but through a conscious and consistent effort. This can only be done by implementing tried and tested step-by-step process. You can contact her via email connect@shwetaoja.com. We welcome you, ma'am. Please enlighten us with your views.
Hi everyone. Am I audible, visible? I hope so.
Yes, ma'am.
So all of you the session earlier by Vriddhi, it was amazing because all the pointers that she had shared in terms of goal setting, in terms of course correction, in terms of the following that you have or people that you have around you is also important when it comes to building your personal brand. And why I emphasize so much building your personal brand is because this is something that can actually help you beat the competition. Now, I'm referring to more college students here. I'm referring to more people who are looking out, entering into the professional arena, or people who are right now in their early stages of career and want to grow. Definitely, for students who are preparing for the competition, building your personal brand, creating your digital reputation is something that may distract them from what they're doing currently. So I don't know whether this is the right thing to do as of now, but as soon as you kind of enter into the college, I think the next steps way forward should be to build your personal brand. Definitely, when you do that, you are beating a lot of competition like in no time. So I definitely advocate a lot of that. I really would not need the presentation, so if it's okay, I will just converse whosoever is handling the presentation. Thank you so much. So I would urge here today in this talk about the 4 fundamental steps of building your personal brand. Now, before we, there is a misconception or a lot of myths around personal brand is all about being famous. Personal brand is all about talking about me. Personal brand is influencing. Definitely a bit of this, a bit of that is there, but that is not the core aspect of building your personal brand. That does not really, do you any good in terms of, positioning yourself well in the career or maybe getting ahead of the competition as the topic of the day is. Now, when it comes to personal brand building, the first step always should be looking inwards. Do we have the clarity in terms of who we are? Do we have the clarity of what we are good at? Do we have the clarity of what we can perhaps add value to this whole world? Do we have the clarity as to where we want to go? Maybe you may not have the clarity to go at length, like 10 years kind of a roadmap you may or may not have, or people evolve. I do understand that, but right now in the short term span, do you have clarity as to where you want to head to? So in terms of looking inwards, we need to answer all these questions with crystal clarity. Unless until we do that, we are not going to powerfully present ourselves, powerfully project ourselves, powerfully position ourselves. Now, this can only happen once we have clarity to these basic questions of looking inwards and kind of answering them in great detail. For instance, who are you? Now, this is a basic fundamental question. Can anybody in the room or people who are watching this video later can very clearly answer this question? If the answer is no, then this is where the beginning point is. Who are you in terms of professional, in terms of personal? Are you a go-getter? Are you a digital marketer? Are you say programmer? Now, when I ask these questions, who are you? I get these generic answers. Now, these are very generic. Programmer who? Digital marketer, do what? Do you have clarity? Have you looked inwards in terms of where exactly is my core competence lying? Where exactly I want to go in my career? Where exactly do I enjoy working? What drives me to get up in the morning, do the work every single day? What till now has excited me in my career? How many people around me have come up and kind of sought solutions for whatever things? Like, I really get questions from students saying that, how do I know, who am I? So I asked them that, just check around till, from your school days to college till now, for what people are seeking out solutions. People like, you are a go-to person for what kind of solutions primarily. From there, the answers to who you are will emerge. Definitely it will not come in one sitting. It will unfold like, peeling the onion. You'll come to know as you progress in your career. But yes, that is the first step. The awareness that who am I and where am I heading to, or the mindfulness of where, in terms of your career, or if that is your career goal, then are you prepared personally? For instance, if your career goal is, yeah, teaching, do you have the required skills for teaching? When you actually look inwards, these questions come to you. What are your strengths? What are your, I believe Vriddhi also spoke about the SWOT analysis. So this is what you need to do when it comes to your personal brand journey, looking inwards. Now, the clearer you are in terms of looking inwards will actually, unfold in terms of who you are, who do you help, how do you help them with, what do you help them with. These kind of answers will come to you, and this will actually be the stepping stone of drafting your uh, projection, or drafting your elevator pitch, if I may say so. Now, the clearer you are, the better, or the snappier, or the more intriguing, or more receptive, or in terms of what should I say, more powerful elevator pitch you will be able to come up with, the better answers that you get while looking inwards. Now, SWOT analysis is one step that you can do to look inwards, but apart from that, you can also start connecting dots from where you began your journey, how your likings towards different subjects, different career options have emerged. What do you think that you would be enjoying doing, 5 years down the line? Where do you see yourself in terms of your financial stability? Where do you see yourself in terms of, the kind of work that you would want to do? All these questions definitely are important to begin your personal brand journey. Personal brand is when you become a go-to person for a specific thing. For instance, in my case, if I have to say, I know all about digital marketing, I know all about Google ads, I know all about Facebook ads, I know about social media marketing, but I have chosen this specific niche that I will only talk about LinkedIn coaching and consulting. Now, I want to become a go-to person for LinkedIn coaching and consulting for the simple reason is that if I build the depth, to people, try to go wider. Personal brand is if you go deeper in a particular subject, then you become an indispensable, or a go-to person, or the right person to approach for in that particular niche, or in that particular subject matter. You become an authority, you become a subject matter expert. For that to happen, definitely if you're not clear, then you will go haywire. Whatever opportunities that come your way, you will take, and definitely you will not be able to build a personal brand going forward. The next step, once we have the clarity, the next step is that, are we projecting ourselves correctly? For instance, I have seen a lot of my clients that whether they are students, college students, or whether they are senior professionals as well, that they are really experts in what they do, but they are not projecting it correctly. They are not projecting it correctly so that people understand that, okay, this is the person that I need to connect with. This is the person that I need to hire. This is the person that I need to seek help from. Now, why this mismatch happens? Why this mismatch of projection happens? Because of several things. One of that is the self-doubt, that you are an expert, you're delivering results, but you are really restraining yourself from putting yourself out there. Second particular reason that I see, which happens when you are not doing the right projection, is that you are you're shying away from reaching out to people. You're shying away from helping people. Also, the third important reason that I see people don't project themselves is, how will I be received? This whole perception game in terms of how I'll be received. Will people like it? Will people not like it? Yes, self-doubt, but self-doubt in terms of, I'm not doubting my capabilities, but I'm doubting how it will look in the public domain, or how it will look, how it will be perceived, how people are going to perceive me as. The fourth reason is, most of the time when people are not projecting themselves correctly, or shying away, is the whole laziness of sharing their knowledge. Sharing their knowledge, once you do that, people understand that you're a subject matter expert. If you keep it to yourself, how will they know that you're a subject matter expert, and how you will be able to differentiate yourself from the marketplace? So there are so many digital marketers, or there are so many programmers, or there are so many other lawyers or chartered accountants, or whatever, engineers also. So how are you going to differentiate yourself in the marketplace, by letting people know that how you're better than the others, right? And how will you do that? By actually showcasing that, okay, this is what you've done, this is how you're progressing, this is how you are achieving results on a daily basis. If you are not sharing yourself, people will not take you as a subject matter expert, and how then you are just anybody. How you're going to differentiate yourself is, you need to make that effort to share your knowledge, share your learning, share your experiences, share your anecdotes, share your narratives onto the public domain, for people to see that you exist. And not only you exist, you make yourself visible. The third, the important criteria for projection also is that, is the projection getting me the right outcome that I'm seeking? Now, what happens is, once we get into the projection mode, we lose the focus, or we lose the clarity of where we are heading to. So the first step that I was speaking about, looking inwards, is also in tandem with the projection, for the simple reason is, you have to kind of keep checking yourself that I am in the right direction or not. No matter, like, for instance, I also am an erstwhile marathoner, or I'm a trekker. Now, if I keep talking about that, will I be able to project myself as a LinkedIn coach and consultant? No. That is my objective. That is the personal brand that I want to create. Now, if I am not projecting myself into that subject matter expertise domain, then definitely I'm putting all the effort to build a personal brand. Maybe I have built a brand for myself, but is the brand in sync with what we are looking at in terms of our long-term goal that we are looking at in terms of the career? Now, looking inwards is the first step. Projection is the second step. The third step that I want to speak about is in terms of leveraging. So yes, I know I'm good at X. So I maybe I'm a brilliant graphic designer. Nobody designs like me, or um, even if I don't think nobody designs like me, this is something that drives me. Help, I can sit endlessly and work on graphic design. I keep learning. I keep upskilling myself. This is the place that I want to be. I am very clear about it. Now, this is the step one, looking inwards. Now, the second is, how do I make people know that I exist and I'm really good at it? By sharing whatever you've accomplished till now, by sharing whatever learning that you have till now, by sharing your journey, by sharing what do you like and where do you want to go. All of that will definitely come into the step one and step two. Now, how do I leverage uh, different platforms to make, to help me or to facilitate me to build that personal brand? Social media definitely today is a really powerful tool. Unlike our times, or times before the social media was so prominent. Now social media can be leveraged beautifully to build your personal brand. Not only that you make your visibility, but you also are able to establish yourself as an expert in whatever capacity that you are in. Now I will just take a detour in my discussion here to establish the fact that being an expert does not mean that you have to have incredible years of experience, or if you think that you can teach something to whatever that knowledge that you have, don't shy away from putting your content out there. Don't shy away from sharing your knowledge. If you are a 10th grader, definitely you can teach something to a 6th grader or a 7th grader, or maybe even 8th grader. Now if you have that, I'm just illustrating here the 10th and the 8th example. But like, for instance, if you have a 4-year work experience, whatever you've learned in terms of giving interviews, in terms of how you can get clarity in terms of how should you shortlist different profiles, or how you should build your resume, or what are the nuances that you can think of. One should be prepared for job interviews. Yes, if you have 4 years of work experience, this is something that you can share from your own experiences. So by expertise, I don't really mean that you need to be an expert, because expertise is something that one keeps acquiring. So I guess one pointer in Riddhi's session was also about, you should keep learning. Now, any expert that you see who are really good in what they do, they always keep upgrading themselves. They always keep upskilling themselves. So that's going to be happen. That's going to happen. But what I've seen people restraining themselves from projecting or leveraging social media, or using social media to build their personal brand, is they think that okay, I still am a newbie, and how I can project myself as an expert. No, let people perceive you as an expert. People perceive you as an expert, not, it should not be the case that you think that, okay, I have to have a 10 years of experience, and then only I will start sharing. That should not be the case. It will be too late for you to build your personal brand. You need to establish relatability with your target audience, and your target audience is someone that you want to influence to build your personal brand. Now, if you want to go in your career to the next step, then definitely that who are the people that perhaps either as an entrepreneur, or as a job seeker, whom are you going to influence? Are the people looking at you vis-a-vis other competitors of yours? That is where the personal brand journey is going to come into play. That's how you're going to beat the competition. Now, when it comes to the whole leveraging of social media, there are different platforms in also that you can leverage, but primarily I would say that look at the social media platforms that have your target audience, and that will make more sense for you to establish yourself as an expert. So for instance, if you want to establish yourself as a YouTuber, definitely you have to be a YouTuber. So on and so forth. So definitely for any professional who's job seeker, LinkedIn becomes one of the platform. But I'm not saying that this is the be all and the end all. Now, apart from the social media, also there are many ways that you can build your personal brand by this simple facts, like, do you have a customized email signature, or do you have your a brilliantly written cover letter? All these small details that showcases you in a light where you know about yourself very clearly, you know where you're heading to, and you know how you can add value to the people that you are joining or helping or serving. Now, when I say all about projection, there is like a discipline which is required to build a personal brand, and that discipline is only once you start sharing knowledge. There'll be a lot of following, there'll be a lot of people who would relate with you, and eventually you will become a go-to person. But then you can't just ghost, right? You have to kind of discipline yourself to be consistent and sustain that personal brand that you've built with so much effort. Sustenance is something that is the most difficult part when it comes to personal brand building. Now, the 4 steps of inwards and the projection and leveraging and sustaining, if you are able to take yourself across these 4 steps, you don't just build your personal brand, you evolve yourself as a personality. And that is the benefit that you get by building a personal brand. So my request to all viewers here is that you should consciously look at building your personal brand, putting yourself out, creating a digital reputation. That is definitely going to help you beat the competition. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your insights. It has been very enriching. If you both permit, shall we proceed with the audience question now?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Moving ahead with the first question. The question is, sometimes we feel we are already in the last position in the rat race. In such situations, how can we stay motivated? I would like Riddhi ma'am to answer the question.
Could you just repeat it? Like your voice broke in the middle.
Yes. The question is, sometimes we feel we are already in the last position in a rat race. In such situations, how do we stay motivated?
Okay. So I think one way of going about the same could be through seeking control within yourself, because in a competition, you cannot control the outcomes that others are going to generate or the efforts they're going to put in. So you have to shift your locus of control inwards and figure out what you can do about moving ahead in the competition. And also, as ma'am said, you have to know where competence is lying, your competence is lying. So once you figure that out, you will be more motivated and more pumped in order to facilitate your particular preparation and not look at somebody else's.
Thank you for the answer, ma'am. Moving to the second question. How do we portray an efficient online profile? I would like Shweta ma'am to please take the lead.
How do we portray an efficient online profile is will come from the answers that you get from inwards, and also will come from the answers that where you want to go to. For instance, definitely a LinkedIn profile for any professional is given, one should have. And when it comes to LinkedIn online profile, it should be in sync with whom you want to influence, the position that you want to go to. So you step into their shoes and try and look at your profile. Is that influencing enough? Does that appeal? So if you were in their position, would that profile appeal to them? So that perhaps will give you some insights, and then definitely you can connect with me one-on-one also, to I can help you out.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable answer. We are pleased to hear you. Moving to the next question. The next question is for Vriddhi, ma'am. So the question is there any way we can stop competing with anyone and reach the summit?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that in a competition is universal, and there's nothing we can do to dismantle that. And we will, that's, competing with others is inevitable when we're in a competition. So that's not something we can eliminate. But what we can do is not focus on how they're going about their preparation and how they're going about doing certain things like setting goals for themselves and effectuating their action plans. That's something that we're supposed to do on our own. So in order to do that, you have to uh, make that action plan for yourself. Focus on what you're doing, focus on your strengths, abilities, your development areas, because nobody else is going to come and compete on your behalf or achieve the outcomes that you want to generate or that you desire and achieve those for you. So that's something you have to realize. And again, as I mentioned previously, you have to focus on yourself, seek control within yourself without actually focusing on what others are doing or how they're going about competition. Yeah, that's all.
Can I
Thank
add
you.
something here? If
Sure, ma'am.
that's okay. So, whosoever has asked this question, see, one fundamental thing is everybody has their own base levels, and base levels are different. So, don't judge yourself or when it comes to competition that, she's doing or he's doing something like their base level is something different and your base level may be something different. So, just compete with yourself is what I would say. And if you have like gone one step ahead. I've been a trekker and a mountaineer, so I know the importance of competing with yourself. So if you've gone one step ahead, that's like you're good to go.
Thank you, ma'am, for enlightening us with your brilliant answer. Moving to the last question of this evening, a question to you, Shweta, ma'am. The question is, how do we cater and stay updated with the essential needs?
Needs as in, I didn't understand what is the reference point of need here.
Ma'am, need to create a social media presence and step over the competitive world and doing our best in that field.
So keep following people whom you can relate with. So there are different personal brands that exist in your domain, in your industry. So A, keep upskilling yourself. B, follow these people so you will get a lot of learning. Also, when following, obviously what they're sharing, you learn from that, but you also keep observing how they have evolved as a personal brand. So both ways, if you kind of look at it, it can be of great help in terms of building your own social media presence. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. This really helped us a lot. We are pleased to hear you. I would like to thank all the speakers as well as the audience for giving us their time and support. Thank you for attending and engaging in today's session with us. Before concluding the webinar, lastly, I would like to repeat the steps to avail the e-certificate. Attend the complete webinar. When you see thank you on the screen, there will appear a link to a Google Attendance form in the chat box. Click to mark your attendance and get the feedback questionnaire emailed. Fill the questionnaire you get on mail for your details. Follow our page. Whether you did or not is also in the questionnaire. If you did and replied in affirmative and actually did not follow our page, you will not get the e-certificate. If all the above stated steps are followed, automatically an e-certificate will be issued online to you within 24 to 48 hours. Thank you, everyone. You can get in touch with us on Facebook and Instagram. You can also visit our website at www.mentormitr.com and can email us with your queries, feedback, or suggestions at contact@mentormitr.com. We are here to help you with the right guidance. Thank you for attending the webinar. Once again, I thank you, Riddhi ma'am and Shweta ma'am, for this insightful session.